Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Michelle Fondon, and I am an author and speaker. And today I'm coming to you from a very different location. I am in Michigan taking care of family business, so that's why you see the very different background. If you see a little shaking, I am in a swivel chair, so I'm going to try not to swivel. It's very hard not to swivel in a swivel chair. Today, we are talking about what if your twin flame divine masculine is constantly talking to you, bombarding you with communication in the 5D. This is part of a series which I call Twin Flame Guidance, where I guide you on a twin flame topic. Let's jump right in. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe below, click on the bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. And thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. I do readings, 30, 60, and 90-minute readings, twin flame romance, general readings, life path and purpose. You can book that at my website, michellefondonauthor.com. And don't forget to download the free Twin Flames affirmation meditation. The link is below. I got this topic because I recently coached a client who is a relative newbie on the twin flame trajectory, on the twin flame journey. When I say relative newbie, this person has been on the twin flame journey for less than a year. I think, if I remember correctly, less than 6 months. So when I was having a conversation with this client, it really brought me back to the year 2019 for me on my twin flame journey. And the reason why it brought me back to 2019 is because this twin flame said, I cannot stop hearing the voice of my twin flame, and I know it's him because his voice is there, his intonation is there, his phraseology is there, everything is there that represents this person. And I had the exact same experience when I embarked upon the twin flame journey. Now, the voice of my twin flame actually didn't start speaking to me in earnest until about 3 to 4 months into the twin flame journey. So it took that long, but we had a physical relationship and then a friendship relationship. And it wasn't until we were in separation, and I say that in quotes because we were still talking to one another. We still had to see each other every day. And so there was conversation going on. We were even texting back and forth at some point, like during that period where his 5D self started speaking to me. And I had the exact same experience as this person that I coached, where my twin flame's 5D self, higher spiritual self, was very, and still is, very chatty, but it has subsided quite a bit. And this had occurred all throughout 2019, where my twin flame, divine masculine, was constantly chatting with me in the 5D, in the spiritual realm, telepathically. And the very confusing part, and I think this is one part that I'd like to address here, because I know for some of you, and believe me, I've coached many of you in which this is the exact case, where your twin flame, divine masculine, is speaking to you a lot in the 5D. The 5D communication is very crystal clear. It is vocal, it's clear, it's invasive, it's happening all the time. And I know this is the case for many of you because I speak to many of you. And for me, obviously, I was navigating this without a coach. I was navigating this all by my lonesome. And I really didn't have anybody to talk to about this, because while my sister's on the twin flame journey, she has quite a different experience from my experience. And I was honestly all by myself in this aspect of my journey, and I didn't know what to do. It was very, very invasive. And so one thing that I'm going to suggest to you, if this is your case, if you're experiencing a lot of 5D communication constantly from your twin flame's higher spiritual self, and it's become rather invasive to your daily living, like it's really hard to go through your day because your twin flame is like there in the background, constantly speaking to you. I began to write everything down. So that was one thing that I started to do that helped me regain my own sanity is I started to write everything down that his higher self was saying to me. Now, at the time, I didn't quite understand the difference between the voice of his higher self and the voice of his 3D self, meaning like I thought he was just communicating with me telepathically so that his 3D self was completely aware of everything that he was communicating to me telepathically. This wasn't the case, and that is where I'm going to coach and advise you to really be able to be open to the concept that when your twin flame is communicating with you in the 5D, there is somewhat of a time lapse, a time lag. Because the 4D is the space-time continuum, meaning it is time, there's a jump, right? There's a jump from the 3D self to the 5D self, with time being in the middle of those. So it can be confusing because not many of us have experience with telepathic communication. We don't have communication with the spiritual realm on a regular basis, unless if that has been something for you where you have communicated with people that have crossed over, you've communicated with your spirit guides, your angels. This is quite different because this person is still living, hopefully, I think. I mean, in most cases, this person is still living. My person is still living. It's very, very different because when you are speaking to spirit, of course, there is divine timing at work. When you're speaking to your twin flame, who is very much alive, you might be having 3D conversations with them. There is a lag in time that I have noticed in many of the things that your twin flame divine masculine is communicating to you in the 5D. That made me extremely confused in 2019 because I was personally under the impression that my twin flame's 3D self was completely aware of everything that he was saying to me. So that when I would bring up certain things, and I would do it very subtly, but I would bring up certain things in conversation to his 3D personal self, and he was really confused. He had no idea what I was talking about. He was very confused. He was very much in the dark. And so I was like, what? Like, how is this even possible? Because your 5D self is telling me this, and it's so crystal clear. The messages were so clear. And his 3D self had no idea what I was talking about. Now, there was some crossover, meaning a lot of times his 5D spiritual self would tell me something, and then the very next day, his 3D self would tell me the exact same thing. So there was crossover, but it wasn't complete crossover into those conversations where his 3D self was completely aware. It was mostly about daily things, like what he was doing in his daily life or what he happened to be thinking that time, or something to do with something in the physical world. And that crossover seemed to be pretty prevalent. So there was a lot of telepathy going on, but at the same time, there was spiritual self 5D communication going on at the exact same time. And it was very, very hard for me to tell what was what. And so writing down every single 5D conversation became crucial to me, because then I could reference check and kind of go back and cross-check the 3D conversations we were having along with the 5D conversations we were having, just to see if there was any like crossover. And so that was more or less the easier way that I could tell how to like bridge together the two worlds, my twin flames 3D self and my twin flames 5D self. What I would like to share with you, if you are experiencing like a bombardment of communication from your twin flames 5D self, is that it doesn't happen this way all the time forever. It doesn't. It really, truly doesn't. It happens in the beginning of your twin flame journey, and oftentimes it happens for maybe 6 months up to a year. And then it does subside a lot. It really does. It subsides a whole lot. I don't know the reasons for this. I can guess. I'll guess a few reasons based on my own spiritual journey, based on my own twin flame journey. And this might help you to then navigate if you're feeling this invasiveness, this bombardment from your twin flame's higher spiritual self. The first reason I really believe that this is happening in the beginning of your twin flame journey is what I'm going to call calibration. You are calibrating. You and your twin flame divine masculine are actually calibrating. The communication is coming through in the 5D, and your higher spiritual self and your twin flame's higher spiritual self has been waiting your entire life up until that moment to be able to speak to one another and have somebody hear those messages. And so I feel that my twin flame's higher spiritual self was just waiting in the wings, so to speak, for me to be awakened enough to be able to hear the higher spiritual self voice of my twin flame. Does that make sense? So there's a period of calibration where your twin flame's higher spiritual self, like I said, has been waiting in the wings. When you become awakened and aware, the twin flame's higher self is like, whoa, okay, now is my time to get it all out. And like I said, for me, the chatter was constant. I was always hearing my twin flame's higher spiritual self, and especially in the evenings when I would like be in a very quiet meditative mode, it was like all the time. And like I said, it can be really invasive because not only sometimes are you hearing your twin flame's higher spiritual self, but you're also feeling their physical presence. And it's their spiritual physical presence, if that makes any sense. But you're also feeling their presence. And so it can be really disturbing, honestly, if you don't know what it is. Now, here is something that you can do that most twin flames don't know. They don't know that you can actually do this. You can ask your twin flame's higher spiritual self to take a step back and give you some room and space. It is perfectly acceptable for you to do that. If you need that space, if you need time to absorb, if you need time to calibrate yourself, then you can ask your twin flame's higher spiritual self just to take a back step. Just say, step back a few steps. I need some quiet. I need some time to absorb this. And then when you're ready, if you want to, you can invite them back in to talk to you, to speak to you, to be with you. Now, the second reason why I feel it's very strong in the beginning and then it sort of subsides as time goes along is because your twin flame's higher spiritual self is there to tell you, you have some work you need to do. You have some inner child work, you have some wounds, you have some obstacles in your life. You have a lot of things in your personal development and relationships that you are needing to work on. I'm here to help you. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to show you what you need to work on. Now, it's not as if your twin flame's higher self is saying that verbatim. Most oftentimes, they're not saying it verbatim, but it will happen that they will trigger you. Some of the things that your twin flame shares with you in the 5D will trigger you into deep emotion. In my earlier videos and in my twin flame boot camps, I do explain that there was a period of about 9 months where I was literally crying every single night. And I would be like communicating with my twin flame in the 5D, but it would just cause this surge of tears. And it wasn't sadness or depression. It was just, it felt like just purging. It also felt like an opening to unconditional love that was causing that. So your twin flames higher self will show you where you are needing to work through things. And so I believe that it is the strongest in the beginning because that is being pointed out to you. Now, rest assured, things do subside. You're not going to hear the voice of your twin flame in the 5D very, very strongly in the exact same way forever. That's not going to happen. What is going to happen is you will hear it really strongly in the beginning, and over time, as you are calibrating, as you are developing and growing and working on your higher spiritual self, working on your own personal development, it will subside. And then with my experience, you will then be able to call upon your twin flames higher self for conversations, for information, just to touch base with them. And that's really, really helpful, because if you are in total separation from your twin flame, if your twin flame's communicating but not giving you a lot of information, not giving you a lot of feelings, communicating their feelings well, then it can be really helpful to communicate with your twin's higher self in order just to kind of check in and see where your twin flame is at, and also share where you are at on the journey. So I hope this was helpful, twin flame. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing to my channel below. Click on that bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. And thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. Thank you for sharing this video with other twin flames. And thank you so much for your support of my YouTube channel. You can buy a book or 2 or 3. You can join a boot camp or meditation course. You can also join my group coaching. The link is below. And I will see you in the next video.